Hello, cutting it close today. We're in chapter 3. It came to pass that I, Nephi, returned from speaking with the Lord to the tent of my father. And it came to pass that he spake unto me, saying, Behold, I have dreamed a dream. Again, we got the dream, in the which the Lord hath commanded me that thou and thy brethren shall return to Jerusalem. It would be confusing. For behold, Laban hath the record of the Jews, and also a genealogy of my forefathers, and they are engraven upon the plates of brass. And this just gives you pause because Lehi sends his sons on a potentially deadly journey to retrieve the family's identity. And knowing from whom you descend must be that important. So, just to ponder how heart-wrenching it is for those who don't know. There are many who don't know their heritage and don't understand it and don't even have access to it. So how heart-wrenching. But Lehi was willing to send his sons on a potentially lethal journey to retrieve that information. That's how important it is, because apparently it's worth dying for. Wherefore the Lord hath commanded me that thou and thy brothers should go unto the house of Laban and seek the records and bring them down hither into the wilderness. And now behold, thy brothers murmur, saying, It is a hard thing which I have required of them. But behold, I have not required it of them, but it is a commandment of the Lord. Therefore go, my son, and thou shalt be favored of the Lord, because thou hast not murmured. And I don't know, this is another little Lehi parenting thing that just, it's like, oh, the Lord will love you if you do this, not me, it's just the Lord loves Lehi, or loves Nephi no matter what he does. And I just wish there were more parents that would convey that, because I think it would prevent a lot of people from making mistakes if somebody just says, you know what, no matter what you do, no matter who you choose to be, no matter what path you choose to follow, God loves you and I love you. And I think if more parents conveyed that to their children, I think there would be a lot less aimlessness in the world, if that makes sense. There will be a lot less people trying to be something that they're not, which is one of the most prevalent problems of today. But I digress. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, said unto my father, I will go and do the things which the Lord hath commanded, for I know that the Lord giveth no commandments unto the children of men, save he shall prepare a way for them, that they may accomplish the thing which he commandeth them. So again, he's going into this adventure pretty confident, okay? So, and we're going to learn his confidence is somewhat misplaced, because yes, he talks about the Lord, but that kind of conveys to himself, oh, I'm going to show them, I'm going to go in there, and we're going to see he's not going to do so hot round one. But and it came to pass, round two, what am I talking about? Round one and round two. And it came to pass that when my father had heard these words, he was exceedingly glad, for he knew that I had been blessed of the Lord. Again, the blessing here was his capacity to be obedient. That's a blessing. Both of those are gifts from God. And I, Nephi, and my brethren took our journey in the wilderness with our tents to go up to the land of Jerusalem. And it came to pass that when we had gone up to the land of Jerusalem, I and my brethren did consult with one another. Problem number one. So instead of praying about it or trying to seek divine help, they tried to rely on their own wits. And we cast lots. So this is what the beginning of the next verse says. And leaving things to chance in God's work, I don't know, there would be holy dice, if that were the thing. Okay, Lord, tell me what's going on today. It's just that's what they're doing, essentially the same thing. They're leaving it to chance. And lots, again, for those of you who don't know, is just a bundle of little sticks. If there's 4 guys, there's 4 sticks or whatever. And then whoever draws the longest or the shortest one, I think it's the shortest one, out of those 4 sticks loses or has to go or whatever the deal is. But in this case, it's Laban who loses. So who of us should go into the house of Laban? And it came to pass that the lot fell upon, Laman. I know I have to break down and get my glasses on, but we resist these things. Okay, and it came to pass that the lot fell upon Laman, and Laman went in unto the house of Laban, and he talked with him as he sat in his house. And he desired of Laban the records which were engraven upon the plates of brass, which contained the genealogy of my father. Okay, well, if they contained the genealogy of Nephi's father, well, they contain the genealogy of Laban's father. And if Nephi's family was willing to die for them, well, Laban's family is willing to kill for them. So, and that's what we see happens. And it's almost like, what are they thinking? I mean, let's just go in there and ask them for it. They just know they were sent by their father on this, going back to this place that's going to be destroyed. They know it's a deadly journey. They know how important these records are, and the fact that they would just waltz in to Laban's house and say, "Yo, we need the records." How would anybody expect it to go any other than how it did go? And behold, it came to pass that Laban was angry and thrust him out from his presence, and he would not that he should have the records. Wherefore he said unto him, "Behold, thou art a robber, and I will slay thee." He wants to kill him. But Laman fled out of his presence and told the things which Laban had done unto us. And we began to be exceedingly sorrowful. Of course, and this is after one try. And my brethren were about to return unto my father in the wilderness. But behold, I said unto them that as the Lord liveth and as we live, we will not go down unto our father in the wilderness until we have accomplished the thing which the Lord hath commanded us. So again, he repeats almost verbatim 3:7 what he said before. And so he's reiterating, I know, maybe you don't know, you don't talk to God, so you don't know these things, but I know that, I don't know how yet, but somehow I know, and it's interesting to note that they haven't said anything about them praying together or seeking higher help, nothing. So this is just them on their own 2 cents. So let's see, where were we? Wherefore let us be faithful in keeping the commandments of the Lord. Therefore let us go down to the land of our father's inheritance. For behold, he hath left gold and silver. This is their next best idea. And all manner of riches, and all this he hath done because of the commandments of the Lord. For he knew that Jerusalem must be destroyed, yet he's reiterating, because of the wickedness of the people. For behold, they have rejected the words of the prophets. Wherefore, if my father should dwell in the land after he hath been commanded to flee out of the land, behold, he would also perish. Wherefore, it must needs be that he flee out of the land. Again, they're always trying to convince them. Did you get it? Do you get it now? Do you understand? It's going to be destroyed and you'd be destroyed with it. It's like talking, and behold, it is wisdom in God that we should obtain these records. So now he's trying anything, any avenue in their logic, on their hearts. What can I appeal to? How can I motivate them? Wisdom in God that we should obtain these records, that we may preserve unto our children the language of our fathers. Okay, well, if you don't do it for God and because it's going to destroy, at least do it for your kids, They're going to need to see a written record, and they need to know who they are. And, that would be a value that they could relate to. So here's Nephi trying to appeal to anything on his brother's side, and also that we may preserve unto them the words which have been spoken by the mouths of the holy prophets. He loses them again here, which have been delivered unto them by the Spirit and power of God, since the world began, even down unto this present time. So it's about till 600 BC or so is what the Book of Mormon records. And from Adam and Eve until then. And it came to pass that after this manner of language did I persuade my brethren that they might be faithful in keeping the commandments of God. And really, that word again with Laman and Lemuel, you don't persuade people who have no faith, because persuasion doesn't change a spirit. Persuasion doesn't change a heart. It appeals to someone's logic, for one, okay? And not everything that God does is logical. So if you base your entire argument of spirituality on some right brain theory, it's going to last about 2 minutes. You cannot appeal to logic, because we don't understand most of what goes on in this life. And there are so few answers we have. What they say, scientists understand either 0.5 or 5% of the rest of the 95% or whatever it is of the universe. We have such a tiny understanding of what is happening. So appealing to someone's logic, it may work in some areas. If you keep the word of wisdom, you don't smoke, you're gonna have healthier lungs. Chances are good that you'll have healthier lung. Okay, yeah, okay. Somebody might go, oh, okay, but if persuasion doesn't change hearts, is my point. It just doesn't. It's only through interaction through the Holy Spirit, through the Spirit. Spirit to spirit communication is the only thing that is going to affect real change in someone's life. Nothing, no good argument, no, equation. Nothing is going to change a mind or a heart except for that interaction with the Holy Spirit. And it came to pass that we went down to the land of our inheritance, and we did gather together our gold and our silver and our precious things. And after we had gathered these things together, we went up unto the house of Laban. Again unto the house of Laban. It came to pass that we went in unto Laban and desired him that he would give unto us the records which were engraven upon the plates of brass. The same plates that you were going to kill my brother for asking for. Yeah, we're back. This time we brought money. It's like, okay, so the guy that threatens to murder you, you think if you pay him, he will somehow let you live and just take your money? I mean, I don't know. We already established he's a murderer. So, I mean, the money now he gets to kill 4 of you and get a treasure. I don't know what they're thinking here. I just, part of it is that he's trying, and we see this, what Nephi does. He tries to appeal to people's weaknesses. Well, what about your kids? What about, you're going to need to preserve this for your kids. It really doesn't have anything to do. Now he's trying to do the same thing with Laban. Well, he's a greedy person. He's a terrible, awful person. Let's go bring him a bunch of gold. He'll want it. He's easy prey, So this reveals more about Nephi than his, I am large in stature, comment. I feel like the fact that he is one of those people that thinks he can probably do no wrong. So even though later on he, has his little crying fit, nevertheless, the fact that he's trying to appeal to someone's weakness to do the Lord's work is going to backfire horribly. And again, they're going to be endangered. And it's going to lead to more family conflict. And just, so anyway, let's go on. So did I say the plates of brass for which we would give unto him our gold and our silver and all our precious things? And it came to pass that when Laban saw our property and that it was exceedingly great, he did lust after it, no duh, insomuch that he thrust us out and sent his servants to slay us that he might obtain our property. And it came to pass that we did flee. Here we go. We did flee before the servants of Laban, and we were obliged. That's a really cute way of putting it. They're running for their life. Well, we were obliged, ma'am, to leave our goods behind. It's like, I don't know. But before the servants of Laban, and we were obliged to leave behind our property, and it fell into the hands of Laban. Duh, maybe they should have mentioned their sisters a little more, and got a little more information from their sisters. Because, I don't know, this is like, yeah. And it came to pass that we fled into the wilderness, and the servants of Laban did not overtake us, and we hid ourselves in the cavity of a rock. And it came to pass that Laban was angry with me. He was so angry because they lost, because I'm sure in their heart they thought, oh, we're going to come back, and maybe dad will be dead, and so we'll get everything, and we'll get back. Oh, now that's it. This is the straw that broke the camel's back for him. He's like, okay, now I have nothing to return to. Laman was angry with me, and also with my father, and also was Lemuel, for he hearkened unto the words of Laman. So he was hearkened to the wrong brother, wherefore, and trusted the wrong brother. Wherefore Laman and Lemuel did speak many hard words unto us, their younger brothers, and they did smite us even with the rod. And it came to pass, as they smote us with the rod, behold, an angel of the Lord came and stood before them, and he spake unto them, saying, okay, I'm sorry, this part just kind of makes me laugh. Why do you smite your younger brother with the rod? Every time I read that, I just think of Sam going, there's 2 of us here, because they only mentioned Nephi, and poor Sam. I just think poor Sam, he's like, You know what? So Lemuel can keep beating me, but Laman has to stop beating, you know, they can keep beating me, but they have to stop beating Nephi. He could have had that attitude. Sam could have developed that attitude, but he was such an incredible brother. He knew everything the angel was saying about Nephi here was true, and he believed it. And so that's just in my heart the kind of brother I think Sam was. And so I just think he was just the truest blue and could just see the good qualities of his brother. So know ye not, so this is the angel still talking, know ye not that the Lord hath chosen him to be a ruler over you, and this because of your iniquities. And easily Sam again could have been here, oh, but not me, I'm not a leader, I'm not going to be getting anything out of this, but maybe a free pass because of Nephi, maybe not. I don't know, Sam's response, he could have had a negative attitude in many instances, and yet he's such an uneventful, unmentioned character, like, he's just there, and it's funny because a lot of people underrate just being there, but I'm sure most of us, but maybe hopefully, I pray to God at least all of us have one person that you can just turn to who's just there. They're just there. They're not, maybe not the most successful person, maybe they're not the most beautiful person in your family or even the nicest person, but somehow they're there for you in whatever way. If you can just go and sit down and watch TV with them without having to say a word, or pour your heart out to them, whatever it is, but just being there for someone. And that's what I picture that Sam is like for Nephi. Behold, ye shall go up to Jerusalem again, and the Lord will deliver Laban into your hands. And after the angel had spoken unto us, he departed. And after the angel had departed, Laman and Lemuel again began to murmur, saying, how is it possible that the Lord will deliver Laban into our hands? Behold, he is a mighty man, and he can command 50, yea, even he can slay 50. Then why not us? So again, this Book of Mormon shows very clearly that visions and miracles are not what convince people. Again, you could, be talked to your frame is quaking. You can be seeing angels. You could hear the voice of the Lord. But if your spirit has not in any way been touched, it's, like so much static. It doesn't mean anything to you if your heart is open. So whatever your senses take in, your eyes, your ears, your nose, whatever it is your senses take in, if your heart is not also involved, it's not going to be there. It's just going to just slip away. I mean, for example, many of us who've experienced some intense fear, we were in a car accident, or 9/11, some intense thing. Okay, now our senses are taking in. I'll never forget the day, when this happened, and we're so hyper alert because our emotions have been so strongly affected, and that's why so many people can recall what they were doing on such and such a day, because their emotions were kicked into high alert, almost like everybody went into some kind of communal hyper fight or flight, and you're all just on high alert. And so everybody knows their personal D-Day or a national D-Day when something went wrong, because our senses, we're like in this heightened mode, and we're starting to take in memories. So again, emotion can cause your beliefs to be settled in and your memories to be settled in your body. So the more passionate you are about the gospel, the more passionate you are about knowing about God, the more you can feel about it, the more receptive your spirit is going to be. So, but again, then they have distortion emotions such as anger, where you can have a desire to know about God and about the good things of the gospel, and yet you are so filled with a bitterness over who knows, whatever. You could be completely justified in every way. But if hate and anger consume you, then it's like a distortion, and you cannot receive what is, it's like trying to eat a gourmet meal while you have gym socks in your mouth. It's just, everything has to bypass this bitterness in our heart and mind. So even if we're justified. So working on trying not to be angry like Laman and Lemuel about the things that they lost, and working on being grateful for what you have, and being open-minded, just being open-minded. Quit being that quality of Laman and Lemuel were just like, no way, there's no discussion here. You're insane. and I'm going along with you just because, this is my tradition. I have to, I'm the eldest child, and somehow I'm hanging on because I'm hoping I'm going to inherit everything one day. Who knows what his motivations were? But he hung on there, Lehi, or Laman, I mean. Laman, you got to hand it to him there. He hung on. But, again, just trying to develop, because things are going to go wrong, and they're going to, this trend, I don't think is going to lighten up anytime soon. So, the trend of finding joy in the little things and trying to pause and be grateful for the little things it is not, oh, that's such a nice, church lesson, gratitude, isn't that sweet? No, it is going to be a tool of survival, because the bitter are going to not have what it takes to go on another day. They will not. And it's only those who can cultivate gratitude for the tiniest little things are going to be the people that can weather the storms that are ahead. Again, I just want to leave every chapter just saying that if you are in a place of worship where you do not feel loved for the amazing child of God that you are, then you are in the wrong place. Because God is all about love. All about love. And if you're not feeling it at your church, then you are in the wrong place. See you next time.